Skydiving in Venice. It was once banned by the city, and then last year it was allowed.
Now it may be banned yet again. That after a series of issues were brought up by the City of Venice Airport. That's where we find ABC7's Christopher Brantley tonight to explain. Christopher?
Good evening. Skydiving operations here at the Venice Airport are currently suspended after diving instructors made a series of landings outside of their designated landing zones. Skydive Venice Beach has had a rocky start at the Venice Airport.
In the past, we have had jump masters land off of our designated landing areas.
Not just off the landing areas, some have been off the airport entirely. One landing, only 2 weeks into the new business, landed at this sports park. Then it happened again.
Approximately 2 weeks after that, they had another off-airport landing up at Venice High School.
Even when they were landing on the airport facility, it wasn't always in the correct place.
That's the drop zone. The secondary drop zone that I was talking about is generally up in this area here. Okay, those on airport, out of the drop zone landings that I was referring to were occurring right along Taxiway Alpha in this general area.
Because of those errors, the City of Venice stepped in and temporarily closed down the skydiving facility this week. Since March 1st, Skydive Venice Beach has had a new owner, Leslie Wells. She says she's determined to follow the rules, but hopes people understand skydiving isn't always an exact sport.
In skydiving, you will land off at some point or another. We always check the winds aloft before we take off, but from the time that we take off to the time that we exit the airplane, the winds may have changed.
But according to Wells, they've had a great reception from locals, especially from their oldest jumper.
We've jumped a 94-year-old, and yes, safely and soundly.
Last year, the FAA threatened to revoke funding from the airport if the city didn't allow the business to open up. According to the airport director, the FAA is reviewing the situation. The previous business owner was not on site for day-to-day operations. Wells says that she will be, keeping a close eye on things, if the city will allow them to open back up.
I think that now that that's been put in place, we do deserve a little longer than 30 days to try to work out any kinks. This now goes before the City Council next Tuesday. They will decide whether to close this building down, or to close this business down, or allow it to continue operating as normal. Live in Venice, Christopher Brantley, ABC7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Christopher, thank you. The city of Punta Gorda says it has identified and fixed the gaps in its police department that led to the shooting of a 73-year-old woman. Those problems were identified in an internal investigation conducted by the city into the policies and procedures used by police. The report determined there was no procedure in place by the department to address the use of firearms and ammunition by K-9 officers during a training class. There was also no designation of a safety officer during the Citizens Academy, and a false sense of security all contributed to the tragic outcome. Last August, Mary Knowlton was killed during a Citizens Academy when real bullets were accidentally used instead of blanks.
A follow-up now on a shooting in Sarasota. Sarasota police say a juvenile was shot at the intersection of North Orange Avenue and Carver Street around 7 o'clock last night. The victim was taken to the hospital but is expected to recover. Police have not released any information about a possible suspect or motive.
It appears measures that would allow people with concealed weapons licenses to carry guns on college campuses and openly carry guns in public will not be approved by the state legislature this year. The bills are not moving in the House, and they will not until the Senate shows any sign it will advance those measures. So far, the controversial proposals backed by gun rights groups and Suncoast State Senator Greg Stubbe are still jammed in the Senate Judiciary Committee. And as long as they are stuck in the Senate, the House will likely focus on issues that are moving.
It's clear that there's not any momentum in the Senate for it currently. And I mean, obviously there's, I think, interest in the House, but without any movement in the Senate, we decided to spend our time on things that we can actually get done.
The House did approve a measure this week that would allow people with concealed weapons licenses to bring guns to churches and other religious institutions. But that bill conflicts with a Senate version, which includes rules involving religious facilities that have schools.
The city of Venice is named the Shark's Tooth capital of the world, and this weekend that designation is being celebrated.
It is. ABC7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan joins us now live from the festival with more in Venice. Hi, Bob.
Hi, this is the 25th annual, and I tell you, a lot of people are here. I think they're off the beaches because the winds are so strong out of the northwest. They're a little bit cooler near the beach. I had to grab a jacket out of my truck. And Kyle now joining me live here, who is kind of watching the people go by. What are the main questions that people have been asking about the shark's teeth?
I haven't heard any questions really.
I heard one just now a minute ago about the modern. What's the modern mean?
The modern means that they are plucked from the dead sharks and bleached and cleaned.
Okay, so that was kind of interesting. And then you have the megalodon sharks too. We got some. These are only $1 each, huh?
Yes.
Can I get a deal from them? Maybe 50 cents?
Yeah, maybe.
I just put you on the air. Thanks a lot, Kyle. Appreciate it. Kyle was born in Gainesville and now lives in Utah, and he's been down here a few times with his father, who do this and go around to all these different shows all across the country. Our weather is great right now, although a bit windy and dry. We just saw one of the helicopters with the drop bucket on it flying overhead here, so they're still battling some fires around in South Sarasota County. Currently, though, we have sunshine and dew point temperatures way down there into the mid to upper 30s. We'll have much more on the forecast and let you know about the weekend weather coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Thank you, Bob. In a surprise move, Manatee High School's head football coach has announced he is resigning from one of the area's top programs.
John Booth says it wasn't the pressure to win, but the pressure to feed his wife and 4 children on a teacher's salary that led him to walk away from coaching. ABC7's Adam Cellini spoke with the coach Booth today and joins us live from Manatee High School with more on what led to this sudden resignation. Adam?
Yeah, Scott and Haley, most Friday nights here at Hawkins Stadium are filled with excitement and joy, but administrators and players will remember this Friday as the day head coach John Booth walked in and told him he'd be leaving the program and the sport for what he hopes will be greener pastures.
Big return! After just 3 seasons, head coach John Booth is leaving his dream job with the Manatee High School football team.
Every August from 8 years old till now, I've either been a player or a coach.
Booth has gone 28-9 with 2 district titles since taking over the program, but it was the numbers on his paycheck that mattered. A Manatee County teacher salary with only a $4,500 supplement for head football coaches.
It's a grind as a coach and a teacher on a single income.
Florida produces more current NFL players than any other state, but coaching salaries remain far behind other top contenders like Georgia, Texas, and California. Former Riverview coach John Sprague says he helped at least 200 players earn college scholarships, but had to deliver newspapers before school for 19 years so he could do the same for his daughters.
Don't pay me a cent and give me 10% of what that college scholarship was worth to those kids. And I'll pay my entire coaching staff and myself, and we'll double our money.
He can understand Booth's motives.
Everybody's got an opinion about what he does, and he gets about $3 grand a year, so I don't know. I fully understand what he's doing.
Booth says the district raising insurance premiums for teachers in its recent contract didn't help either.
When you got a family of 4 boys, and now just to insure our family means that we have less monthly income, you know, that's tough.
After praying with his wife, Booth decided the best future for his family was a job with Edward Jones Financial Advisors and not coaching.
And Coach Booth's brother, James Booth, who was the offensive coordinator of this program, is also leaving to pursue a head coaching job with Plant City High School, which he announced a day earlier on Thursday. There's still no word on how or when the school plans on replacing these coaches. Live in Bradenton, Adam Cellini, Scott and Haley, back to you.
Thank you, Adam. Teachers in Manatee County are now voting on those new contracts that Adam mentioned for the upcoming school year. About a week ago, the school board voted to recommend an increase in pay. The raises could range from $900 to $1,200. The board, however, did not approve retroactive pay or more funding for health insurance premiums. Teachers can vote on the new contracts online now through April 13th. But even if they reject it, the contract will be imposed due to state law.
Still ahead on your Suncoast News tonight, one of the biggest challenges for new moms.
Up next, tips on how to make the transition from being at home with your newborn back to the workplace just a little bit easier.
My Hometown Fest is coming to Nathan Venderson Park Saturday, April 15th. Join us for culinary favorites from across the U.S. paired with your favorite craft beers. There's also great live music and activities for adults and kids. Buy your tickets today at myhometownfest.org.
Since 2004, Embracing Our Differences has used the power of art and education to promote diversity. One way it accomplishes this is through its annual outdoor exhibition of 45 billboard-sized works of art, each accompanied by an inspirational quote. Join us in creating a community that is inclusive for all, where differences are embraced and individuality is celebrated. We invite you to celebrate the voices and visions of diversity and inclusion at this year's exhibit at Sarasota's Island Park.
So many times we underestimate the human spirit's drive to recover. We often see people surpass what any of us might have expected initially. The Rehabilitation Pavilion at Sarasota Memorial is the top of the line. It allows us to really bring the patient's recovery to the next level.
What to do when your heating or air conditioning needs service or, heaven forbid, replacement? Call Air Now today. We've been serving Sarasota and Manatee County since 1946. We offer $49.95 tune-ups, lease or finance options, and remember, service today or it's free.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
The Sarasota Film Festival is March 31st through April 9th, featuring independent films from around the world, panels, parties, and conversations with stars, all happening in downtown Sarasota.
You don't want to miss it, so get your festival guide and choose the films and events you want to attend.
Buy your tickets online, by phone, or at the Hollywood 20 box office. They go fast, so get them now.
So join us to see and be seen.
Tickets are going fast for My Hometown Fest, being held from noon till 5 p.m. Saturday, April 15th at Nathan Benderson Park. Enjoy foods from 40 area restaurants, 60+ craft beers, live music, and lots of fun. Buy your tickets today at myhometownfest.org.
For new moms, the transition from staying home with their newborns to going back to work. Now there's a new book with advice for the so-called 5th trimester. ABC's Mara Scambio-Campo explains.
Motherhood. It's hard enough.
Luca cried the entire time that you were gone.
Oh, no. And for some women, complicated by the challenges of going back to work.
Mommy's just gotta go to work.
With 70% of moms with kids under 18 in the workforce. The transition from maternity leave back to the office tackled in a new book, The 5th Trimester.
What is the 5th trimester?
It's the transition to going back to work after having a baby, and it's a time that is really fraught and really hard.
I mean, it's not unusual for women to go back after five or 6 weeks.
There's a huge percentage of women who go back after 2 weeks.
Author Lauren Smith Brody, mom of 2, surveying over 700 working moms about the challenges of re-entering the workforce.
A lot of us want to prove that we have not changed.
You have changed, but you've changed for the better. They focus better. They manage their time more easily.
Lawyer and new mom Annie Lee is going through her 5th trimester right now.
You're actually talking to a zombie right now. A very sleep-deprived zombie.
The mom of 6-month-old Summer returned to work 3 weeks ago.
When I was closer to the date of having to go back to work, there were days when I would just clutch her and start crying. But, deep down, I knew that I owed it to myself and I owed it to my career, which I had put so many years into.
Smith Brody says there are ways to make the transition easier. First, when it comes to asking for new work arrangements post-baby, like more flexible hours, she suggests being totally transparent with your manager.
Show that you're going to deliver everything that you ever did before, and then also show how it's good for the company.
Other tips, if you're breastfeeding, try to be productive during those pumping breaks.
If you can ask your employer to not just give you privacy, but also give you privacy in a room that has Wi-Fi and a phone, you can actually turn that time into dedicated work time.
Most importantly, she says, for moms who feel like quitting, just give it some time.
please wait at least a couple of months, if not 3, to make any big decisions.
Maura Esquivel-Campo, ABC News, New York.
Now to Suncoast Traffic Watch. I-75 is backed up in Manatee County tonight in the northbound lanes from University Parkway, as we often see, up past State Road 70. Now we're going to check back in with ABC7 Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan, who's been checking out all the finds at the Venice Shark's Tooth Festival. Bob.
That's right, checking out everything here, Haley, and there's a lot going on. We have a lot of booths. ABC7 will have a booth, too, here all weekend, so stop on by. The gates stay open until 9 o'clock today, and then tomorrow from 10 until 9, and then Sunday, 10 until 5. It's a huge event, helping out with some of the Special Olympians here in Sarasota. I saw this sign right here. What does it say? The weather forecast, mostly drunk with a chance of fishing. I don't know about the drunk part, but a chance of fishing is there, obviously. We are looking at great weather this weekend for all outdoor events, although it's been windy for fishing as of late. We'll talk more about that in a bit. Currently, at the Casey Key webcam, we are looking at some high surf that's been around today, and there have been high surf advisories in effect throughout the last couple of days, at least rip current advisories. Those will expire too over the weekend, so better news on that front when it comes to the high surf. So the seas will be calming down. Weather headlines read like this: chilly night ahead. I had to go grab my jacket when I was in the shade. It's going to be rather chilly tonight. Low temperatures in the 40s in places. It'll actually feel in the low 40s due to the strong winds out of the northwest. The dry air in place. We've talked about this over the last couple of weeks. High fire danger exists. I just saw the helicopter with the drop bucket go by here at the Venice Airport. A high fire warning in effect until 8 tonight. It'll be back with us again tomorrow. It's 70 right now. Look at that dew point, 38 degrees. That's unusual for April, but it is here. Winds out of the northwest at 15, and the pressure 30.03 inches, and that is on the rise. High pressure dominating our weather. The high today, 75. The low this morning was 59. Those will be different tomorrow. Obviously, we're going to be much cooler. No rainfall to report today. We could use the rain to help out with the drought. And temperatures now into the upper 60s to low 70s, mid 70s right now inland, and the Gulf water temperature has cooled to 76. It was as warm as 80. Here's the lows tonight: 45 in Northport, and Venice should be down to about 50 degrees. But with that northwest wind, it will make it feel even cooler to start things off tomorrow. Lakewood Ranch at 47, Braden, you'll be at 50 to start things off, and 53 at Anna Maria. How you guys doing today? Good? Got a big crowd gathering here watching weather. I like this. St. Louis and another angle. Minnesota. Okay, how you like this weather? Good?
Wonderful.
Wonderful, yes. Northwest winds anywhere from 5 to 10 miles an hour tonight. And tomorrow they'll pick up a little bit in the afternoon, up to 13 to 15 miles an hour. The forecast looks like this through the hourly forecast: low 70s on in through Saturday, with normal high right around 80 degrees. We'll get back to that normal reading on Sunday afternoon. A futurecast showing sunshine and plenty of it right through the weekend. No threat of any rainfall in the foreseeable future. Unfortunately, that's not the best news with the brush fire season in full swing right now. Satellite and radar: one storm's exiting the northeast, another one's moving in the west, and in between, temperatures are warm. It's actually warmer in North Dakota right now than it is here in Sarasota. Hard to believe. 51 degrees now in Detroit. Well, the boating forecast shapes up like this: northeast winds 10 to 15 knots, and seas will be 2 to 4 feet. Better on Sunday. Water temperature at 76, and beaches will see a high of 74. Tides upcoming on your screen. A high tide will be at 11:16, and a low tide at 6:28. Sunset at 7:51, sunrise at 7:13. Now the forecast tonight: mostly fair, much cooler. Lows in the upper 40s, a little bit cooler inland, mid 40s there in places like Lakewood Ranch, Arcadia, Wauchula, Highlands County. And then for tomorrow, below average temperatures but mild, 74 for a high. That's like a summer day where you're from, Minnesota. Mostly sunny, not as windy, 74. The extended forecast is calling for gorgeous weather on Sunday, 79, and then low 80s right in through much of the work week next week. Well, I tell you, some great photos sent in, and we got a sign right here from Lisa, who is in charge of this sign shop. Lisa, what are you holding up right there?
Gone fishing, and if you come and join us, we do custom signs we paint on the spot, and we don't charge any extra for anything you want put on boards.
I like the idea there. Look at these pictures. I think we get the pictures up right now if we do. This first one is a snook. Alan Roth, Captain Alan Roth, and that kid right there, he caught his first snook, and it was a keeper. I've yet to catch a keeper snook in season, so a rarity there. And you see another nice snook as well with the coach Steve Herrick, who's always catching the fish with Sam, his client. Then Captain Will Osborne. That is a huge 44-inch snook. You don't get to keep those. You got to send them back. Justin Moore's client also catching some nice snook. And then Captain Scott Moore with his clients, some cobia. And then we have, again, this big one. This was an African pompano. Unbelievable fish that you see right there. And we've got a lot of things going on as far as fishing goes. We have Sarasota Bay cleanup taking place tomorrow, Fishing for Freedom of Manatee County. They need some volunteers. Show up. It's a great event. They had 4 tons of trash they found last year. And then we have the 87th annual Sarasota Tarpon Tournament taking place. That's May 6th, that's right. And then the Thursday is the banquet, kickoff banquet on May 4th. Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I love all these signs here.
And we look forward to people coming down to support the show.
I see one that says hurricane evacuation plan, grab a beer. I won't say what the other what it says behind that, but there's some funny signs here. A lot of people, a couple thousand here already. Back to you.
All right, Bob, thank you so much. Some mixed news on the jobs front tonight. The unemployment rate in the U.S. dropped in March to 4.5%. That's the lowest it's been in a decade. Wages were 2.7% higher in March compared to a year ago. But on the downside, America added only 98,000 jobs in March. The U.S. added 219,000 jobs in February and averaged 187,000 new jobs a month last year.
A woman in Valrico, which is near Brandon, is celebrating her new fortune tonight. Wendy Rollerson claimed a $1 million prize in the world-class cash scratch-off Florida lottery game. She's getting a one-time lump sum payment of $748,000. Rollerson bought her winning ticket from Arendale Food Mart in Valrico. Congrats to her.
Drinks on Wendy tonight.
Oh, yeah, many of them. Entertainment news is next.
Now's a perfect time to create a custom system with California Closets. During our Door and Drawer event, save up to $500 on beautiful doors and drawers for any room. Contact us today for your free design consultation. Visit our showroom or online at californiaclosets.com.
A unique celebration of a distinctive cultural gem in Sarasota. La Musica, the annual international festival of chamber music, with renowned musicians from 4 continents. April 3rd through April 12th at the Sarasota Opera House and at Sainer Pavilion. Buy your tickets now.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
Or shop at Goodwill,
I'm creating a job.
I am Goodwill, yeah.
Rose takes her volunteering for Tidewell Hospice very seriously. But she knows how to have fun, too. And that's what she brings when we're invited to visit patients as part of Tidewell's pet therapy program. People love to see her. She really brightens their day. She makes people smile. And in end-of-life care, a smile can be a wonderful gift. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
The official salon of ABC7. Cutting Loose Salon.
Come into a California Closet showroom to experience our quality materials and construction and collaborate with our designers to create the perfect custom solution for any room. Go to californiaclosets.com to request a free design consultation and locate the showroom nearest to you.
Big night for rock music. Multiple bands will be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Pearl Jam, Tupac Shakur, Joan Baez, Electric Light Orchestra, Journey, and Yes, all being recognized. To be eligible, all of the nominees had to have released their first recording no later than 1991. Inductees will eventually be enshrined in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum in Cleveland. Presenters inducting the 2017 class include David Letterman, Snoop Dogg, and Pharrell Williams.
MTV will no longer have gender-specific categories for its movie and TV awards. In place of the Best Actress and Best Actor categories, this year's awards will honor a non-gendered Best Actor in a movie or Best Actor in a show as two different categories. The move follows the Grammy Awards decision in 2011 to dump gender distinctions of singers, collaborations, and groups. MTV's ceremony in May will also include a nod to social activism by renaming its Best Fight category to its Best Fight the System.
The Academy Awards also making a major change. The Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences has ruled documentary series like the recent Oscar winner O.J. Made in America will no longer be eligible. It's one of a handful of rule changes that will no longer be admitted in the documentary category. The Film Academy also announced that the Best Animated Film category will now be voted on by the entire membership.
Okay.
And they're going to get all the envelopes to the right people.
They're going to make sure that turns out correct. We'll be right back.